please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at the TikTok user, Instagram sensation, the sauciest of sauce ladies, Pink Sauce Lady Chef Pie, because she's getting a bit more bonkers, and she's put out another statement on her TikTok, a lengthy one at that I feel only right to go through. Since we last spoke of her at the end of last year, she has been making a return to TikTok, getting tens of thousands of views, in some instances over 100,000. Clearly her name still carries a level of weight. I may not have the level of pull that Chef Pie has on TikTok, but I do have one. I have two actually. The Real Omegon, and one for Not Worth a Cork, a whiskey themed TikTok. I have 2 followers. I'm off to a cracking start. Link to both in the pinned comment down below. I'll also link previous videos I've done on Chef Pie, the Pink Sauce Lady, and when she tried it, the Blue Sauce Lady as well. She had attempted a rebrand at one point. Everything will be linked down below. Go watch it if you'd like additional context. Needless to say, she is somebody who had been given the greatest of opportunities to earn a really good passive income. Because she's a micromanaging control freak who didn't realise just how expensive it was to run what it was she wanted to create, the Pink Deluxe sauce. Add to that the fact that she was blowing through money. Add to that she agreed terms and decided to call out the very people, Dave's Gourmet, for reasons that were utterly bogus. She has squandered what opportunity she had to really do something good with her life. So let's hear what she has to complain about today.
I realize I have a really hard time expressing myself.
No offense intended, but that can pretty much summarize a vast number of TikTok users. For the sake of it though, you've done a magnificent job articulating yourself over the past 2 years to a reasonable enough level for many to believe that you are well and truly bonkers.
It's been a long time, y'all. Since I actually said something.
That could be because, much like many TikTok users, all you have to do is take some random trend with some audio dub and simply mime it. Think of it like a JoJo Siwa performance. 100% fake, but made to make you look or feel good. But it's cringe nonetheless.
And I don't know, I think I'm gathering a point that I don't really like saying stuff. I mean, really, through all of this, when did I ever really explain myself for real?
Like when you took a dump, on Dave's Gourmet, like when you decided to deflect, from Dave's Gourmet, but instead, talking about Blue Sauce, and trying to go your own way, like when you begged them for $10,000, dollars, every other, month, y'all, for real.
After taking some time by myself and really just disconnecting from social media, disconnecting from the pink sauce, disconnecting from Chef P, just being Veronica, just being myself, connecting with nature, going out to agricultural places and spending time with my children and nurturing them and just nurturing myself as a person.
I've often been told if you go outside and touch grass, there is something quite rewarding about it, which is essentially what you have taken the long way of explaining, but I understand you are trying your best to be heard, to speak up, to be yourself. You sound a bit high, but that's a separate thing. There is also additional points that can be raised about differentiating the character you portray online with the person you are away from your phone, your keyboard. I understand that. I really do. I think it's vitally important to have that separation. It's just a shame really, because of who you are, you've blasted yourself online for far too long, and you're a great example of how you can make all the wrong choices when the right ones are presented to you.
I've really been able to analyze myself and my actions and the things that I've been going through recently. And I realized damn girl, you're angry.
Or we could tell you were angry, but we also knew that you were equally crazy. It's why you took a leaf out of Liver King's book and started going out into the public to have people taste your pink sauce. It's why you've been a bit more extroverted, to mask your anger totally, and not because you're bonkers.
And with that realization, I have to make a change. Like, I'm like, okay, you have to make a change for yourself, because why are you angry?
Because you didn't fundamentally like the deal you got with Dave's Gourmet, even though the deal with Dave's Gourmet made you a considerable amount of money, over $100,000 in fact. There were complaints about the fact that the sauce didn't stay pink for long. I fully agree and understand that. I also understand on a mass scale it was near impossible to keep it the way you wanted it kept, which could only really be kept on a smaller scale, and the only reason you signed a deal with Dave's Gourmet was because you couldn't get FDA approval while selling it on TikTok. Which, by the way, please don't buy food off TikTok. It's an absolute rip-off.
And one was, I feel like I didn't defend myself. I didn't say things that needed to be said when they needed to be said.
Somebody is going through the 5 stages of grief right now. Denial is one of them. You've yet to get to bargaining. You did anger pretty well, I will admit, but it is crazy. Or bonkers. I like the word bonkers. I might use that going forward. I say denial because you were quite emphatic on what you thought. It's why you used overdubbed voice work crap audio stuff to make your totally not passive-aggressive points, and then you made very outlandish statements about Dave's Gourmet and how they're stealing from you.
And with this being Mental Health Awareness Month, I don't know if y'all know, but yeah, I did have my little thing with the ants, bugs, or whatever, but we recovering. When I say we, I mean people as a whole, because I just feel like the nation is in an uproar. But,
What on earth are you talking about? There are levels of confusion you are creating with your own trying to seem prophetic, when really you sound pathetic. I have no earthly idea what you're talking about now.
I have to find a better me. And a better me is actually educating y'all and showing y'all and telling y'all why I created the pink sauce and why I created my invention, and educating y'all about food and naturalism and just living a clean lifestyle.
You created the pink sauce because it was a bright, vibrant and unique colour. You love pink, we know this. We know that you invented it because you wanted to stand out. And at the time of its invention on TikTok, you were ahead of the time, ahead of the curve, which meant you were able to capitalise on something not many others had considered doing on that platform. In doing so, you were one of the earliest on that platform to turn a trick into a profit. You then squandered it because poor person with money equals bad decisions. So if you want to educate, it's quite alright, but your historical revisionism won't resonate with those who actually bothered to keep up with your nonsense, like me.
But, with all of that being said, it's I'm back again. Yes, I'm back.
If in your head you now have Slim Shady's back, tell a friend, refrain from putting it in my sodding comments. We are above this, people. We are above this.
Not giving up on this journey. I know it's been a crazy road here on TikTok with my growth being so fast and everything happening so fast. Building a brand overnight is a dream come true, but it's also real hard,
I will have to defer to your superior knowledge on what it's like to create something really quickly, sign a rather exclusive deal that mutually benefited both parties, then decide you weren't getting enough out of it after you begged them repeatedly to give you early payments to pay your rent, even though you were receiving tens of thousands quarterly, and that just wasn't enough for you. I still maintain I am impressed you hadn't gone down the OF route or a Patreon.
It's really just a chance for me to show y'all why I created my product, and also a chance for y'all to have the real thing. And
they did get the real thing on TikTok before FDA approval. They then got the real thing Take 2 Electric Boogaloo, courtesy of Dave's Gourmet. They then got it, Folie à Deux Part 3 Revenge of the Pink Sauce, whatever you want to call it, in the bargain bin, because it turns out after a while people were less interested in it, and of course it did start to lose its pink illustrious sheen after a time. Those exotic ingredients were hard to source, remember, certainly when producing on a mass scale where it could have in fact been bigger than it was.
Taste the real pink sauce, and I have so much in store to share with y'all, from recipes to about me, but most importantly, like, why the pink sauce was created, like this journey, my private chef journey.
I want to highlight something you're seeing in the video while she's prattling in a somewhat deluded state. The sachets on her table are a powdered substance she's using to make a form of pink sauce now. There have been follow-up videos of her making this sauce. It looks runny, it's pink, she has to add additional ingredients to it, like milk, of course. You need some kind of water, but milk is what she's using. Many complaints are that it's missing savoury flavours. I have a feeling this is where she's evolving. I don't know if it counts as an evolution or not.
I also, like, I've been taking private chef gigs again, and I'm like really just like analyzing myself and realizing that, like, I have a real passion for food. Like, I've been cooking since I was 8 years old. I was raised by my grandma.
Many of us are taught as children to cook from relatives. In your case, you mentioned your grandparent. There is a stereotype in there somewhere. Don't make the joke, it's too obvious and a bit crass. On your TikTok, you do in fact cook lots of different things, and I hope it is a passion you explore fully. Your private gigs thing is a good idea as well, because let's face it, there's no way you're getting by on TikTok views anymore. If your intention is to use your TikTok now to do more cooking, do more pink sauce of your own kind, and do more storytelling, you'd probably want to consider doing a lot more content, since you've only done one a day since this one came out.
So, like everybody else's grandma kitchen, I just went into and learned from them. And I had the opportunity to not only learn from other people's grandmothers, but learn from a diverse cultural like setting, because I'm from Miami, so we got Asians, Jamaicans, Caribbean, Haitian.
In current year, to say one comes from a melting pot is a bit of a strange flex, because many of us do in fact come from similar backgrounds, in that many different cultures made up the fabric of where we originate. That can be considered good or bad depending on your own interpretation. I personally don't care. Your influences are interesting, especially because your notoriety comes from making something that looks like paint, and I mean colour and of course the thickness of it. I think we call that emulsion.
You know, people from all over the world are here, and I had the opportunity to have access to that. And I really took a keen liking to Asian cuisine.
Oh, so by the current year standards, you culturally appropriated. Do you want to tell us who really invented pink sauce now?
And also my personality is like crazy. So
I think over the 14 plus minutes we've been doing this video, I have amply demonstrated you are insane. Of course, I can be near certain my entire audience were aware of that pre-watching this video.
it's like, you know, I'm a vibe. Like, if you meet me in person, it's just like, yeah, different.
I wouldn't consider you so much a vibe, unless that vibe is entirely negative. I would consider you a symptom of, as I earlier stated, something negative instead. I'm being a little pedantic, but I think at this point in my life I'm allowed to be.
But with all that being said, like, I told y'all all, like, majority of 2022, 2023, I hid myself. I took covenant, and basically isolated myself from the world and isolated myself from my friends, isolated myself from my family, isolated myself basically from everybody.
I can believe you isolated yourself from people in your life. The rest of that statement, though, was absolute bollocks. Because you were active on Instagram, you were active on YouTube-ish, you were active on TikTok. You were posting quite often, slamming everything Dave's Gourmet, because you felt you were being oppressed in some manner. This was royally debunked by the court of public opinion. The internet layeth the smacketh downeth, because it took 5 minutes for Dave's Gourmet to put out a statement debunking you. If you went underground and then went to go and touch grass, it was entirely because your lies needed time to settle, so you could come back anew. But apparently in this, with historical revisionism on your side.
And I'm tired of being isolated. It's no more isolation. It's time for me to face my fears.
So, reality then?
Obviously, I've created something amazing. I created something amazing. I believe in myself. I believe in what I created. And as humans, we all make mistakes.
A small part of me is wondering if Dave's Gourmet has seen this, and at that moment, for the first time, agreed with you.
And I forgive myself for my mistakes.
No offense intended, but I don't believe you can grant yourself forgiveness for your mistakes. Your mistakes impacted a lot of other people. They are the ones that can grant forgiveness. The level of arrogance here is quite impressive, as if the only person wronged by your poor decisions is you. Okay.
And I'm moving forward. Like I told y'all, it's like real, like I go through, like, I just bounce all over the place when it comes to like explaining myself. Like sometimes I get really excited, sometimes I get really defensive, and sometimes I just don't like being neither or don't like explaining myself. On top of that,
just in case it wasn't obvious enough, yes, the bonkers in action is quite a sight to behold, but it's okay everyone. There is a 100% foolproof way of demonstrating, explaining, justifying all of this with one word. One sodding word. You'll hear it in a moment. Try not to cringe too much when you hear it.
I'm an Aquarius, so that deepens the pot.
No, it just demonstrates a reduced intelligence, which does explain a considerable amount of your behavioral traits, because star sign, everyone, explains everything. It's okay. She forgave herself too. You don't have to. It's all good. Now go buy pink sauce. Her video is basically done at this point. I think I have aptly conveyed my disdain, let's call it that, and derision when necessary. Do let me know what you think in the comments. There's no doubt in my mind Pink Sauce Lady is going to refeature on this channel at some point in the future. I can't wait to see that.